The FBI director is under fire for using his private jet paid for by you, the taxpayer, to go watch his girlfriend sing a song. And even his cope is actually pretty pathetic. But is this just normal for the MAGA-verse? Just how brazen are they willing to be in burning your tax dollars while, of course, they make sure that poor people and children don't get any food? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. Let's crack into it. As you can imagine, criticizing this administration is not exactly a financially great decision when you're a YouTuber. That's why I rely on you guys to support me over on combatvetnews.com. Link is in the description. Become a member. Uncensored combat videos, stuff YouTube would never let me show you anyway. So check it out. Become a member. Now, this is what I think is crazy, right? Kash Patel, FBI director, is lashing out at reporters because he got busted using a government taxpayer-funded private jet to watch his girlfriend sing. And his cope is actually pretty hilarious. So take a look, right? He said it was beyond pathetic reports that he used a government jet to see his girlfriend perform at a wrestling event, claiming they were an attempt to smear not himself, but his rock-solid conservative partner. Last week, it showed up that Patel, age 45, went to see his girlfriend, age 26, a country music singer named Alexis Wilkins, who was performing at the Real American Freestyle Wrestling event that's at Pennsylvania State University. And he actually got well busted because it's easy to track private jets. The FAA actually has to disclose the location of private jets because otherwise they'll crash into each other. And of course, you can imagine media, even a lot of conservative media, is pretty furious with him, right? Because, well, the rest of the government shut down. FBI agents are actually working without pay, as are TSA agents and a number of other Department of Justice agencies and personnel. And so it's kind of, well, fucked that Patel made, again, his pilot fly him without pay to go watch his girlfriend sing a song at Penn State. Absolutely essential government operations right there. And he's so mad about it that, of course, he fired some of his own people, including an agent that had 27 years at the agency, and then he said, quote, "These disgustingly baseless attacks against Alexis, a true patriot and woman I'm proud to call my partner in life, are beyond pathetic." Patel said she's a rock-solid conservative and a country music sensation who has done more for this nation than most will in 10 lifetimes. I'm blessed she's in my life. Now, I want to point out that no one, maybe not no one, I'm sure some bot on Twitter, nobody on this channel with a real brain is criticizing his girlfriend. Go out there, sing all the songs you want, attend every wrestling event that your heart desires. Your boyfriend flew a taxpayer-funded private jet that we give to the FBI director to fly to crime zones, disaster areas, to bring America's most notorious criminals that we arrest overseas, bring them to the United States to face justice. He used that to go watch you sing your song. Dude, he lives with you. He could sing the song. Or he could just ask Trump, who has $800 million in crypto money, to just pay for him to fly first class like off duty, like a normal person. Or use some of his FBI salary, or use some of the money from the children's book he wrote about how Trump was such a good guy. Use that money to just charter a regular private jet to fly you. It's absurd. Well, it'd be absurd if it wasn't a routine occurrence. He also said the attacks jeopardized their safety. No, that's not how politics works. You have a right to be criticized for your decisions. That's how things work in a democracy. And again, nobody is saying bad things should happen to his girlfriend. That's not what we're saying. And we're certainly not saying that bad things should happen to him. I mean, I think he should be fired, right? Any other administration would fire their FBI director for this. But nothing jeopardizing his safety. That's stupid. And he said he's also mad that his supposed allies are staying silent, right? Again, I've always said, criticize me all you want. Going after the people doing great work, my personal life, or those around me is a disgrace. Again, we're not criticizing those people. We're criticizing you. It's very, very transparently obvious. Right? And Steve Ballmer, an FBI veteran who oversaw their aviation operations, was forced out because he was mad about the media coverage. Again, if you don't want to get yelled at, just don't do it. It's very easy. Right? They also said, listen, Patel had significantly limited personal travel compared to Christopher Wray and James Comey, Trump's two previous FBI directors. Point out the director pays a reimbursement in advance, adhering to government rules for personal travel. He's allowed to take personal time on occasion to see friends, family, or his longtime girlfriend. He doesn't do it often. Right? Now, again, I'm fascinated that the idea that he's like, oh, Wray used government jet for personal use, accusing him of jetting off out on taxpayer-funded dollars while dodging accountability for the implosion of FBI on his watch. That's a tweet from Kash Patel in 2023. So, again, we're just also worth pointing out, this was a 40-minute flight. This was like not that expensive at all. Not even close. And he was there for 2.5 hours. So, like, it's very easy to make that drive. It's really kind of bizarre. But here's the problem. The problem is this is normal for the MAGAverse, right? For example, Homeland Security Secretary, never one to be outdone, made a $170 million purchase of Gulfstream jets for DHS leaders. Now, again, like having two private jets for the Secretary of Homeland Security is a kind of preposterous, right? But these are necessary, she says, to replace 25-year-old airplanes for the mission of the Coast Guard. Congress apportioned the dollars and paid for them in the big, beautiful bill, actually. So, here's what I think is hilarious, is that the cope for this one is to say, listen, Congress appropriated the money. Did Congress appropriate money for the ballroom renovation? No, they didn't. Did Congress appropriate money for the purchase of Trump's new Air Force One, the gift from the Qataris, a country that then got a NATO-level security guarantee, something unprecedented for any country in the Middle East? No. So all of a sudden, congressional funding is really, really makes it legit, makes it okay, right? And again, the fact is that it's in the midst of a government shutdown. So, buying two new luxury G700 jets to the cost of $200 million of taxpayer money. Again, the big, beautiful bill may have passed, but the funds can't be spent. Because, again, if you care about the law, like Congress appropriating the money, then you should probably care that the law says you can't spend the money right now. And it's especially fucked because, as we've shown, the administration is willing to violate the Anti-Deficiency Act and slide money that Congress allocated to some funds over to other funds. That's how Trump managed to get the military paid, by illegally transferring funds from different programs that had cash in the accounts and transferring them over in a way Congress never authorized for military pay. Again, this is illegal, but because the president controls the Department of Justice, he'll never face consequences for it. But the fact that they've already shown they're willing to treat all allocated funds as slush funds means that this $200 million could have gone to pay TSA agents. It could have paid air traffic controllers. It could have gone to pay apparently anyone the DOD wants. Again, if you're willing to commit a crime, why is it that when they are willing to do this, it only benefits the administration? It's because they exclusively it's because they are here to self-aggrandize themselves. That's it. They're here to make things better. Again, here to line their own pockets. And look no further than the Trump Mar-a-Lago Halloween bash. That's right, guys. For those of you not keeping score at home, while American SNAP funding, which, by the way, guys, 40% of SNAP recipients are children, U.S. citizen children, right? So America First doesn't include children, and it doesn't include American citizens. What they mean is Mar-a-Lago guests. Now, you're going to say, guys, please, this is Mar-a-Lago. This is the president's privately funded club. And as you can see, they had a Great Gatsby themed party. And as you can see, it was nice. They hired dancers. There was actually a woman inside a cocktail glass. I mean, you look at this, and this is extremely. I mean, look at the stuff on X, man. They had burlesque dancers. I mean, truly astounding. And this is what you can do when you operate a crypto company that offers no product but does sell a crypto coin. And then you again go ahead and use it. There you go. There's a dancer in a cocktail glass. You can see all of these people with the president. What I find hilarious is that, you know, we talked about the fact the president had a mysteriously droopy side of his face at the 9/11 memorial. Obviously, that's well known to medical professionals as a sign of a stroke. And then somehow, like, everybody else in the MAGAverse, like, started doing it. It's really weird to me, actually. But you can see, again, that you literally have giant gold balls in the pool. And did taxpayers pay for this? Well, they paid for the security, certainly because the president and secretary of state were there. They probably paid for the travel of those two individuals down to those sites. They almost certainly paid for the Secret Service agents and DSS agents to stay in the rooms there to conduct their protection operations. But by and large, this is probably funded through private corporations, namely the Trump Organization, which, of course, has made billions of dollars because their children, Eric and Don Jr., operate what's called World Liberty Financial. And World Liberty Financial says it's going to create a cryptocurrency-based finance platform, but it never has. But what it has done, though, is issued a token and sold that token to people who transparently want influence over the U.S. government. And remember, the president that we just saw there, he regulates cryptocurrencies. And so literally, a entity called Aqua One, a shell company based in the United Arab Emirates, bought $100 million of cryptocurrency from World Liberty Financial, the president and his kids. But also a Chinese businessman named Guren Babi Zhao, who is under investigation in Britain for money laundering. He also made a big purchase of World Liberty Financial tokens, right? You also had, of course, the Eric and Don Jr. in Dubai and the Middle East promoting World Liberty token and other ventures. In fact, the dividend payments, right? Just the money that's come out of World Liberty Financial and other Trump organizations is up 17 times, up to nearly $1 billion in just a single year. Now, the insane part is, remember, that's not what 90% of that, by the way, was from World Liberty tokens. And that's just probably a fraction of the actual value caught up, because the more people purchase those tokens, the more the overall value rises. It's why Elon Musk is almost a trillionaire. It's not because he receives $1 trillion checks from Tesla. It's because he owns a thing, Tesla stock, that lots of people keep buying. And the more people buy Tesla stock, the more valuable the stock he holds is. So the more Eric and Don Jr. sell World Liberty Financial token, the more valuable it becomes. And when you have something that's really valuable, let's say you had a $1 million house. Well, you could go to a bank and get a loan against that house, right? A second mortgage or a HELOC. Well, the same thing can happen if you go to a bank and say, hey, I own $1 billion of World Liberty tokens, and there's new buyers all the time. A bank will just give you a loan for a lot of money, right? More than just 800 million. We're talking billions. So understand that a crypto company that the president of the United States regulates, owned entirely by his sons, has taken in hundreds of millions, probably billions of dollars of, by the way, completely opaque donations. It's just transfers among crypto wallets. We have no idea who these people are. They're just numbers on a screen. But we know that those transfers occur after the president's kids visit places like Dubai and China. And then somehow, mysteriously, the president finds the money to do shit like this. And in the same time, you, the U.S. taxpayer, the U.S. government added $1 trillion in debt to its balance sheet So we are now $38 trillion in debt. The entire GDP of the US, by the way, just $21 trillion. But that's not the president's problem. He doesn't even own US dollars. He owns world liberty tokens, right? And of course, the funding for SNAP, right? That's the food aid to that 40% of those dollars go to children, by the way, American citizens under 18 years old. They can get fucked. I mean, if you can't see the level of hypocrisy here, I don't know what else to tell you. It's absolutely insane, right? It truly. I mean, if you're okay with it, more power to you. Now, I know you're gonna be in the comments. You're gonna be like, but Hunter Biden. Yeah, dude, that was wrong. What do you want me to say? Hunter Biden scoring 50 grand a month from a Ukrainian oil company or doing deals in China. Yeah, it was corruption. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it, guys. But now, is the Trump administration, maybe what we're learning is that the criticism, they weren't saying Hunter Biden was a bad guy. They weren't saying Hunter Biden was doing something that was inappropriate. What they were trying to say was that he was doing a bad job. Was that if he was really sophisticated, he would have launched a crypto token that his dad regulated. Obviously, their problem is not corruption. It's that you're not doing enough corruption. Anyway, guys, that's all I had. Thanks to GMAT Club, Henry Ruscio, James Porsche, Paul, and Peter Fucci, and all of our Lieutenant Tier members. I could not do it without you guys. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.